Hey, rollerboaters, welcome back. In this video, we are going to be skating for the first time Fifth Elements, and not just any Fifth Elements, the Ilya Savosen Roces Fifth Element Aquamarine. And this video would not be possible without the help of Brian Ferry. These skates belong to Brian Ferry. He sent them to me under one condition, that I would plug his listing for his camo shifts. So he has a pair of 10.5 Razor shifts that's only been used a handful of times. They come with 8 58mm 90A 50/50 wheels. 4 of them have been used lightly. The other 4 are brand new. They do come with like some extra MyFit gel insoles and some other stuff like that. He's asking $195 shipped, so really $180 plus $15 for shipping, but they're in fantastic shape, man. Really, really great shape. They come with the rain camo liners here. I mean, look at the sole place, man, and look at the H plugs. About as close to new as you could ever want. So they do come with the ground control Featherlight 4 frames. So yeah, thank you very much, Brian, for letting me skate your Fifth Elements for this video. And if you're interested in some Razor's shifts, check out the link down in the description below. So if you're not familiar with Ilya Savosen, I always wonder if I'm saying that correctly. Maybe Ilya will chime in and correct me. I don't know. If you're not familiar with Ilya Savosen, he is a wild Russian rollerblader that does wild. He's incredibly skilled and has gone pretty well viral quite a few times. He does really quirky, funny stuff on Instagram, so I'll make sure to link to his Instagram below. But yeah, he does crazy stuff, and he's really, really good and does funny things. So go check out his video, or go check out his Instagram. But his pro skates here, so we're over here on Roces.com, but he has the Savosen Aquamarine Fifth Elements here. You can get them in boot only for €235 or complete here, ready to roll for $279.99, which is how we're going to be skating them today. All right, so we'll take a little bit of a closer look at the skate here and check out some of the specs. So some of the specs here: the shell, bio-based, high-grade polyurethane boot. Wheels are coming with 60mm 92A wheels with central grinding wheels, aka anti-rockers, ABEC 5 bearings, aluminum spacers, and hot rod S axles made in Italy. I mentioned earlier, I've never skated Fifth Elements before. I've got a lot of people asking me if I'll skate some M12s, any Roces products, because I haven't on the channel yet. And so I'm really excited to try these out and see how I like them. They do mention here in their sizing chart, the most important thing to know is to know the measure of your foot in centimeters. So that is really important, your Mondo point, right? So measure your feet. My Mondo is a 275 Mondo, which means my feet are 275 millimeters long or 27.5 centimeters long. And that's very helpful for a lot of these sizing charts, so you're going to want to do that at some point. So here on the Fifth Element UFS page here of their sizing chart, or their sizing guide, like I said, I am a 27.5 centimeter Mondo, which puts me at 10.5 US, which is the ones I'm going to be skating today. If you end up enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Let's head out to the skate park and skate for the first time some Roces, Fifth Elements, Savosen Aquamarines. Okay, my first session done on my first time on the Fifth Elements here, the Ilya Savosen Fifth Elements. I had a suspicion I was gonna like the Fifth Elements a lot. I've had a lot of people ask me to skate them and see what I think, and I like them a lot. There's a couple things I don't like. There's a lot that I do like. Let's get into it right now. So let's first talk about fit and comfort. The Fifth Element here, you know, I think runs big, right? So these are size 10 and a half, 10 and a half US, 285 Mondo point, and I am a 275 Mondo. And what's interesting is these liners like fit my foot really well. Like my toes all the way up against the neoprene toe box, the stretchy toe box. But what I like to do nowadays is actually put my foot right inside the shell, as goofy as it may look, and just see how much space is in there. These are definitely probably a shell size too big for me. I have pretty low arches, and so I had a little bit, just my right foot, I had a little bit of arch, like soreness. I think just because there was a little bit too much arch support for me, at least just in the right skate. That kind of, I think that's just a matter of breaking it in. You know what I mean? That's just me having kind of low arches. And if it doesn't work for you, then swap out the insole. Try something with a little bit less arch support perhaps, something like that. On the insides of both my feet, I skated for probably close to 3 hours total. And I can feel right on the insides of both ankles that there's actually some blisters just starting to develop again. Probably part of just breaking the skate in. They did feel big on my feet. I think that's just part of like Fifth Elements in general. But I think, like I said earlier, I think I could be a shell size down. Very comfortable skates. I think the liner's actually pretty nice. I don't mind the liner. There is no, you know, I'm skipping around a little bit, but there's no heel pad. No shock absorber on the Fifth, which I actually wasn't sure going into this. There's no, but they do come with a really nice footbed. That's really nice, thick memory foam. I mean, this is really, really high quality. And it has like a little sort of built-in mini shock absorber there. But this is like nice. And the liner itself is pretty nice too. Like I mentioned, there's a stretchy toe box to give your toes a little bit of room. Overall, I don't think the liner's a bad deal. It feels nice and supportive. Like, I don't know, I feel like I've heard a lot of strong opinions on Roces liners, either one way or the other. I think these are fine. A lot of people say that the Fifth Elements are heavy, and they do feel heavy in your hands. They do. I'll be honest, while I was out skating, I was trying to think of this the whole time I was skating too, is that, you know, when they were on my feet, yeah, they might feel a little hefty, but it wasn't anything that I felt directly impacted my skating personally. It might impact yours, I'm not sure. But they are hefty boys here. When they were on my feet skating around, they felt very natural and they felt super solid. Every landing felt and sounded super solid. I'm not totally in love with the laces. They feel, I mean, they're fine, but they feel a little bit kind of flimsy and cheap. Knowing how hard I am on my skates, like, I wouldn't expect these to last that long, to be honest with you. Swap them out for some laced wax laces, shout out. Brandon Drummond, check him out in the description below. But not in love with the laces, okay, whatever. You gotta love the Roces memory buckle here. If you're not familiar with it, you kind of just set your buckle once to whatever click makes sense for you, and you never have to set it again, in theory anyway, because it just slides right in the receiver, slides right in the receiver, and you buckle it, and so when you're done skating, boop, and you're done. You don't ever have to adjust, so you can find that perfect setting and you can keep it, which is really nice. The cuffs are riveted, so if you want to swap your cuffs out, you're gonna have to drill those off and put on your own cuff bolts and receivers. But that's nice because it saves weight and you really don't have to ever worry about losing your cuff bolts, which is kind of nice. So as far as like flex goes, I had a feeling I was gonna really like the flex of the Fifth Elements, and I really do. The flex is, to me, fantastic. For boot down tricks, for even transitions, stuff like that. I didn't have to adjust. Once I had the setting in the beginning set, I didn't have to adjust these no matter what I wanted to do, top sides on ledges, etc. So I think the flex and support on these, for me anyway, being a primarily grinder blader, is really good. Coming down to the sole plates, kind of the backslide groove and the sole plates here, I had heard a lot of really good things about the Fifth Element sole plates, and them being just really fast, feeling really good. And you know, I've noticed that when skates are brand new, they do tend to slide a little bit faster than when they're broken in. At least that's been my experience. And for what it's worth, these slide lightning fast. Everything out here, no matter if it was waxed or not, slid really, really fast. So the sole plates, absolutely fantastic. The backslide groove coupled with the stock Roces frame here, this backslide groove, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Made me feel very, very secure with those boot down tricks. There was no searching, no really slipping out. Once you're locked in, you're locked in. I was really impressed with that. One thing that I kind of wasn't in love with the sole plate, but I think that was just me, is the negative. I think the negative is a fine size. I think it is appropriate, but for some reason, I'm sure it's just user error, but for some reason, on the round rail I was skating, it had a tendency to kind of want to slip off. The negatives I did on ledges were just fine, but for some reason, I think it's just me coming from the big, huge Faction negative sole plate. So I think it's just user error, so take that for what it's worth. I actually reviewed these frames not that long ago because they're like $5 or $10 on Oak City Skate Shop right now. And for $5 or $10, how can you not at least try and see if the frame is good? And I mentioned it in that video, and I'll mention it here. These frames are really, really good stock frames. These are fantastic stock frames. They slide really well. The groove profile feels really good. They feel nice and solid. The only thing, like I mentioned in the review video I did of these, is that with the H-block, it's a little bit of an angle right here. All right, so it would just take a little bit of kind of grooving in to kind of smooth that out a little bit on like a ledge or something, so that that's a little bit more of not such a abrupt angle. But overall, the frames were really great. The wheels felt fantastic. Really, really fast, really smooth. Anti-rockers are good in there. I actually prefer anti-rockers like this that don't really spin very freely, that just spin a little bit. I don't know why, that's just kind of a me thing probably. Overall, I think the Fifth Elements are a really, really great skate. There's a lot of fantastic components. You know, there's a couple things you just have to make sure you get the sizing right. They're a little bit on the hefty side. Me personally, I can look past it, but I know some people are a little bit more sensitive to that than I am. Flex, support, comfort is all good. Yeah, overall, really impressed, man. I like them. I like them a lot. So I will link to everything I skated down below if you want to go check out the Ilya Savosen Fifth Elements here. Thanks again, big thanks to Brian Ferry for letting me use his Fifth Elements here. Thank you so much, man, and make sure to double check his listing down below for his shifts if you want to pick up some Razor shifts. And roller booters, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel. I will see you on the next video. Take care.